Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best DSLR cameras.
Starting at number 5.
Canon EOS 7D Mark II. Even though the Canon EOS 7D Mark II DSLR camera is a couple of years old, it remains Canon's fastest performing camera with an APS-C-sized image sensor. This is a slightly smaller image sensor in terms of physical size than you'll find with some other DSLRs, such as full-frame image sensors. However, for beginner photographers, an APS-C-sized sensor with 20.2 megapixels of resolution delivers more than enough image quality to meet their needs. Only experienced photographers will be wishing for more resolution. By offering this level of performance in an APS-C image sensor DSLR, Canon is able to sell the 7D at a mid-range price point. As explained in Photography Life's review of the 7D Mark II, you'll be able to capture those fast-moving subjects successfully with this DSLR's incredibly fast burst mode. The imaging resource rates the 7D Mark II as a perfect 5 stars, thanks to excellent image quality, its fast autofocus system, and its fast burst mode performance. The 7D's video recording capabilities are better than average, too, which contributes to its ability to capture sports and wildlife scenes. You can record full HD video at up to 60 frames per second, and the 7D Mark II includes a 3.5mm microphone jack, as well as a headphone jack to ensure a strong audio signal. If you really want to step up your sports photography, or are looking to go pro, the Canon 1DX Mark II is tops. Mind you, it's also more than $5,000. The Canon 7D Mark II is just a little too old to incorporate 4K video recording, which is a slight disappointment in an otherwise strong DSLR. TechRadar, PocketLint, CNET, and PCMag all gave it good scores, and user reviews on Amazon are also positive.
Coming at number 4.
Sony A99 II. Unlike the rest of the cameras in this guide, Sony's A99 II is a DSLT, digital single-lens translucent. You're surely familiar with DSLR cameras, but what's a DSLT? In short, you might think of it as a hybrid between a DSLR and a mirrorless camera. At length, the T stands for translucent in reference to the mirror, because it uses translucent mirror technology, which, in plain terms, means the mirror is translucent and fixed. The mirror allows about 70% of the light your shutter lets in through to the sensor and the remaining 30% or so up to the phase detection autofocus sensor. On a DSLR camera, the R stands for reflex, also in reference to the mirror, and the mirror pops up to let light hit the sensor when you fire a shot. The difference in practical terms? You've got one less moving part, so you can shoot more frames per second, and because the reflex mirror in DSLRs moves, it creates vibration, affecting image quality. In its Sony A99 II review, Photography Blog points out the excellent image and video quality this camera can obtain. It offers a full-frame image sensor with an impressive 42.4 megapixels of resolution, allowing it to create amazing images. Because it's a relatively new camera, Sony has included a maximum video resolution of 4K, which makes it a strong video camera, too. As Digital Photography Review mentions, the A99 II is able to give advanced photographers all of the manual control options they could ever need. This means photographers can use a collection of camera settings that will yield the best results, even in tough shooting conditions such as low light. It's a great all-around camera, in addition to offering a high resolution count. Burst mode performance is another area where the A99 II excels, as it can record up to 12 frames per second at a full 42.4 megapixels of resolution. Because the Sony A99 II carries a really high price point, you're going to want to make sure you have enough photographic experience to take full advantage of its feature set. If you feel like your skills are ready for a camera of the A99 II's level, few cameras on the market can match its still image and video recording quality. User reviews on Amazon are few, but largely positive, and the Huffington Post's review agreed that it's a great high-end DSLR.
At number 3.
Nikon D3500. One thing we really like about the D3500, and all Nikon cameras, for that matter, is its user-friendliness. Nikon is widely known and appreciated for making easy-to-use cameras, which alone earns it a large, loyal fan base. But just because it's easy to use doesn't mean it's necessarily a limiting camera. Sure, you can't shoot 4K video, and there's no swivel or vari-angle screen, so capturing video or stills using the rear display at tough angles is more or less out of the question. The D3500 does come with a respectable 11-point autofocus and a 5 frames per second burst shooting speed, which makes some other competitively priced cameras seem sluggish in comparison. Another huge benefit of this camera, especially when compared with mirrorless cameras, is its battery life. Because the D3500 relatively low-tech, it doesn't burn up as much power and can fire off about 1,500 shots before you run out of charge. In contrast, higher-tech DSLRs and most mirrorless cameras tear through a battery in several hundred shots. TechRadar calls the D3500 a great entry into the world of photography, and it's relatively new, but 30 reviews on Amazon have earned it a 4.6 star rating. After a steady month of testing, we don't know of a better camera at this price point, and certainly not a full kit that stacks up for under $500. As far as we're concerned, this is the best entry-level DSLR you can buy.
Number 2 of my list.
Nikon D7500. If you have a bit of experience with photography and don't want your first DSLR to be an entry-level model, the Nikon D7500 is our favorite intermediate-level camera. It fits perfectly into this area of the DSLR market, offering much of what higher-end cameras do, but at a price point well below their price point. As Digital Photography Review discusses in its Nikon D7500 review, this camera offers the highest quality in the market among DSLRs with APS-C-sized image sensors. It provides 20.9 megapixels of resolution, which is more than enough for most beginner and intermediate photographers. It's worth noting that our previous pick, the D7200, offered 24.2 megapixels, which is much more comparable to other DSLRs in this price range. The big trade-off is that you do get 4K video with the D7500. All in all, 20.9 megapixels is just fine for most anyone and even some professionals, so long as you're not doing heavy cropping or printing large posters. Steve's Digicam's D7500 review highlights the excellent viewfinder build quality that was also found in our previous pick. For those who have used film cameras in the past, the viewfinder was a key component to framing photographs. Photographers often are disappointed to find no viewfinder on a simple digital camera or on a smartphone camera. So having a high-quality viewfinder in the Nikon D7500 is a great feature.
And number 1.
Nikon D850. The Nikon D850 is the best DSLR for most people. Unlike its older sibling, the D810, the D850 comes with a respectable 45.7 megapixel sensor. It also takes 4K video and supports XQD memory cards, which speeds up the interfacing between the SD card and the camera and the computer. Petapixel posted about a video put out by Nikon Asia showing just how much faster the XQD card transfers photos. The old CF took 1 minute and 55 seconds to transfer 1,000 photos, while the XQD took only 35 seconds. Apart from that, the D850 has all the same features and superlative qualities of the D810 but with no pop-up flash, which is not something most people use at this level of photography anyhow. The big difference is that you get much higher resolution, which is great, especially when cropping photos, and you can shoot 4K video at 30p, which isn't great at high speed or in low light. Otherwise, it's weather-sealed, holds 2 memory cards, shoots 7 frames per second, has a faster image processing speed, and is probably likely to be around a little longer as it's 3 years younger. TechRadar calls the D850 high resolution meets high speed. Digital Trends and Ken Rockwell are similarly enamored by the D850, and, if you've got the dough to blow, this is our favorite DSLR on the market right now. All this aside, our old pick, the D810, is still a strong camera, but if you're spending this much, it's probably worth tossing in a few $100s for the newer, higher-res, higher-speed option.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.